What's going on, everybody? Is this thing working? I hope it's working. It's working. Okay. Welcome back to another Sunday video, everybody. I'm going to go through a quick peek at the top setups for the week, things that I'll be looking at. I'll tell you right up front. It's a little bit on the thin side. We obviously have a holiday week coming up. We got Christmas coming up on Thursday. I do believe President Trump just designated Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas as new national holidays for us over here in the States as well. So looks like we get a three day holiday week, right? So, but nevertheless, I will be doing my new streams starting tomorrow morning. It'll be the same time. It'll be 6:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock a.m. and that's Central Standard Time. So just add an hour if you're over on the New York side. That'd be 7:30 to 9 a.m. And yeah, I'll do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Obviously, I'll be off Thursday because of the holiday, and likely off on Friday as well. So I'll stay tuned on that. I'll let you know. But before we get into the charts and the top setups, I did want to show you guys just kind of a heads up of what to expect. So this right here is where I'll be doing all my streams right here from my new page, okay, at Trade Like a Tiger. Just go to YouTube. You can type in at Trade Like a Tiger up here, or otherwise you'll see the links that I'll be posting each day in the live section. That's right here, okay. So obviously you can see this will be my first one. Sorry about that weird, funky star-looking stuff on the screen, but you guys see what I'm pointing at here, okay? So I'll start putting my new live streams here, and so yeah, just make sure you find the notification bell if you guys want to stay on top of these. I'll be making these each day. I'll just make the one for like a day or two out each time. So, or I may just do a week at a time. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. But hey, I'm new to this. I am not a YouTube guru by any means. I just kind of figured it out, learning how to use it as a live stream for the streams. So, yeah, guys, we just so you do know, it's myself doing this stream. And then after me will actually be Coach Sam. Okay, here's Sam's page over here. Now he's going to be doing the New York Open. I do believe he said Monday it'll be an hour later of a start because he does have an interview coming up. But so yeah, you guys should be seeing his live pop up here. My guess is he'll probably do something like 9 a.m. I guess it'd be like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Okay, again Monday. Again, because he does have an interview, but he did say he was going to be doing the New York Opens, so that'll be his. Just stay tuned to his page. Okay, you can find him at Sammy Saleh Futures. So definitely go and find him if you're a futures trader. Okay. As always, I'll be handling Forex, Bitcoin, U.S. indices, the CFD side of things, gold and silver. Okay, that'll be my main things. But Forex is my love. It's my first love. It's what I'll be focused on. But yeah, I'll have those other assets I'll be checking out as well. So yeah, after my stream does end, definitely go and find Sam. Again, he'll put up a live for his live stream at some point, over the next 12 hours, I would say. So go check that out. And then following him at, I think, noon Eastern Standard Time will be Coach Adelina. Okay. You can find her at She Trades Fire. Okay. So she does handle the some of the futures as well, in Q and I think S&P. So that's where she kind of focuses on. But she does a really good job as well as far as like opening trades, okay? Opening range breakouts and such. So yeah, it'll be us three guys. It's just us three for now. They did decide to put a halt on the regular Bull Prime official streams, at least for a while. Just kind of take a break from it and see how we do, I guess, individually, right? See if we can build this thing up from a solo point of view. So it sounds like they may get back into them again, possibly later in the summer. Okay. So we're just going to kind of go at it alone as of right now, myself, Coach Adelina, and Coach Sam. So we'd love to have your love and support. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you know anybody that likes trading, that's a beginner, maybe they're a guru at trading, okay, feel free to pass all three of our streams over there. Again, my primary focus is Forex, and their primary focus is the futures, okay, the index futures. So just to give you an idea there. Now, I myself also trade about 25 stocks, some of the large cap stocks, but it sounds like I'll probably just keep this show mainly just kind of like what I was doing on the Ola Prime streams, just more so tailored to Forex. But as always, guys, if you have any questions, I can chart anything. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is you guys trade or are interested in. I can still chart just about anything that you have interest in. Okay, so yeah, that'll be their 2 channels, and then again, we're just sitting here looking at mine, and this is where you'll find my stuff.
My first
So
5 shorts,
just go to my live,
just testing the waters.
you guys can see also I've done I try to do a shorts video each day, whatever the topic du jour is. Okay, maybe I got in a great trade, maybe I get in a bad trade. Okay, I'm not afraid to post a losing trade on here. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that from time to time. Maybe whatever report came out that day. Okay, maybe it's an interest rate release or a CPI event, right? That's basically what I'll kind of do my shorts videos over, or just a golden nugget. Maybe a little how-to. So that's what I'll do, and then of course I'll just kind of mention and advertise the stream. I'll advertise these Sunday videos like what I'm making as we speak. And then I'll eventually, guys, and here you can see my last 3 Sunday videos, okay, on the video section. Now, it's also got its own playlist. I'll put it here in this weekly top setups playlist, okay? So again, that's my videos. I'll probably eventually do some how-tos. Okay, you guys hear me blabbering all the time about supply and demand. I actually made some videos on supply and demand, but I did it before Ola Prime. So it's on an older trading channel I started. So I'll probably just redo those and revamp those, just so I can give you guys a 30,000 foot view of how I trade supply and demand. What I mean when I say fundamental analysis, what I mean when I say sentiment analysis, okay? And not to mention the technical analysis that everybody clamors for. So that's it on our live streams. Please give us some love, subscribe, share, again, the whole 9 yards, guys. We are just solely here for you guys. We're here to help. We're here to help everybody become better traders. And you know what I've learned in the process of teaching and coaching trading, I myself become a better trader. So I love it just as much as you guys hopefully do, on the receiving end. So yeah, that's that, guys. What do we got going on this week? I'm going to try to go through this fairly quick. Taking a look at the economic calendar, that was last week's, and this is this week's, guys. Look at this. We have I know I said it earlier, we have a slow week, okay? We have, as far as red folder events, you're looking at it right there. Nothing on Monday, nothing on Christmas, nothing the day after. But Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got total of 4 items on the red folder, okay? That's the high impact events. So that's the stuff that definitely gets volatility in the markets, whether it misses expectations, meets expectations, or exceeds expectations. So Tuesday, okay, Canada, we do have the GDP report, and they are projected to be on the low end. You guys can see a minus 0.3% is the forecast. This after the previous reading being a plus 0.2%. That is a 0.5% decline if that holds up. That's not a good look for the Canada dollar. And then that's it for Canada for the week. And then you get over to the U.S. We do have the preliminary quarter-over-quarter number for our GDP number here. Again, guys, just like the CAD, it's not looking great. Previous number, 3.8%. But our number forecasted at 3.2%. That's a 0.6% decline. That is not good if that actually holds up. So that's it right there. 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Guys, keep in mind, I'm here in Kansas City, so I am in Central Time. So if you ever see these times, just think Central Standard Time, okay? I'm in Kansas, okay? Dorothy lives just down the road from me, a couple 100 miles, okay? We get tornadoes here, but this is my time. Obviously, anytime you see my calendar, it says a time. Add 1 hour, and that's what you get for New York City time, okay? Eastern Standard Time, financial capital of the world, okay? So yeah, that's Tuesday. Wednesday, right before Christmas, we got U.S. dollar unemployment claims numbers. That's our weekly number we get, projected 4,000 less. If that holds up, it's a little bit light, but it's pretty close to neutral, okay? If that reading comes out. And then lastly, tentative time for the Japanese yen. Governor Ueda will be flapping his lips He tends to have those meetings later in the day here in the States, much later, which is obviously the beginning of the Japanese trading session. So that's it, guys. I mean, even if I turn on the yellow folder events, which sometimes can move markets, but not usually all the time, we still don't have a ton of stuff. I mean, that durable goods orders print, sometimes that has a bearing. What's a durable good order? You go out and you buy a couch, right? You go buy a new car. Things that tend to last 3 years or longer. That's a durable good, right? So anytime that report is up, that typically means, well, if people are not only able to pay for their normal everyday goods, their food, their whatever, their gas, right? Now they can go out and buy a bed, buy a new couch, buy a new car. Then that's a good look for the economy, right? That's a good look. Expendable income. So that's one example of a yellow folder event, which is a medium impact event that can sometimes push markets. So, but that's about it, guys. It's going to be slim pickings, and that's good because it's the holiday week, and nobody gives crap about trading whenever the holiday's going on, right? But we're still going to keep an eye because there's usually always at least some good setups here and there. Okay, so that's it. Let's go take a look at some top setups, guys. This is it. This is it. So number one is gold. Okay. Gold and silver at the top. You see the platinum up there, basically all the metals that this thing tracks. Copper's there as well. Copper's in everything. Okay. When the economy is doing good, copper tends to have a pretty good look to it because copper is in everything. But all I personally care about is gold and silver because those are the two items I personally can trade. I don't have a broker that allows me to trade platinum or copper. So copper and silver it is, guys. Number one, number two. Okay. And this makes sense too. The US dollar hasn't had the greatest reports come out lately. I think we're only setting at 45% as far as that has exceeded expectations. That's talking about all the red folder events. Okay. We'll get over to that in a minute. But for now, let's just take a look. We got gold, silver, but we've also got the indices on here as well, the U.S. indices. Okay, we got the S&P 500 right there, the Russell, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. So these are all given bullish ratings. As always, guys and gals, a bullish rating is a 5 or higher when we're looking at the score column. And a long story short, you take all of these different items from your technicals, your sentiment, your fundamental analysis here, inflation, jobs numbers, okay? Anytime something beats expectations on the economic calendar, which is this folder here, okay? Every time something beats expectations, you'll get a number in blue. Blue means good. Blue means exceeded expectation. Blue means bullish for whatever that underlying asset is. Anytime you see a red, well, that just simply means they've missed expectations. Okay, it's a cold number. It's a light number. It's a negative number relative to the economist forecasts. Okay? It's the forecast. So yeah, as you guys can see, gold and silver are having a pretty decent go of it. I mean, you've got a few red folders on here, a few that have missed expectations when we're talking gold and silver. Okay, that's GDP, PMI, NFP, unemployment claims, JOLTS job openings. Okay, typically, whenever something is not so good on the U.S. dollar, it's got the opposite effect on gold and silver. So again, I'll get into the specific economic heat map for the U.S. dollar here in a moment. But that's just kind of a yin and a yang relationship. So gold and silver are at the top. And then, of course, again, we got the U.S. indices up there all giving me bullish ratings. We've got Bitcoin up there giving a bullish rating. So it's kind of interesting, to see some of these risk-off assets, meaning gold and silver, up there with the risk-on assets, meaning the U.S. indices and Bitcoin. It's just kind of interesting. It usually is a little bit lopsided. Usually you just have one or the other up there. But in this case, we got both. Well, what have we got for currency pairs? This is a Forex show. This is a Forex Fire show. What do we got? Only two items for you, ladies and gents, and my big old head is in the way, as I just noticed. You guys can see right there, Aussie yen. Okay, that is a bullish 5. And then the pound Aussie is a bearish -5. So remember, -5 or lower is bearish. Get my big old head out of here. Oh, let's do this, guys. There we go. I had to get my head out of your way. So there you go, guys. You should be able to see it now. Pound Aussie is at the bottom. That is it. I don't have anything else. In fact, guys, if I put this thing, let me just do this. I want to show you guys. Let's see. Let's put neutrals on here, and then let's just go to the major currency pairs. Here we go, guys. So this is the 7 major currency pairs with the U.S. dollar. And as you can see, the best we've got is for a potential bullish is the pound dollar at a +4. But I just need one more good report for the British pound or one more negative report for the U.S. dollar. And then this would be a good potential bullish signal. But as of right now, I don't have it. I just don't have interest in getting into some higher time frame supply and demand zone trades whenever I'm getting this neutral of a rating. Okay, I like it to be lopsided, and I don't care if it's lopsided to the bullish side or to the bearish side. Right? I'll take whatever it gives me. I'm not picky. I'll sell just as much. I'll short sell just as much as I'll buy. I'll go long. It's just whatever gives me the strongest sentiment analysis and fundamental analysis signal. Okay, because the technicals take care of themselves. The charts, right? Like the fundamental and sentiment. That's the holy grail, in my opinion, of finding something worthwhile to trade. And then the last thing I do is look at the technical analysis, look at the chart to go in time and entry. That's how it works, and that's why I do all three, a combination of all three. I think that that's just a wonderful, wonderful trade plan to make sure I'm covering my bases and all the analyses. It's not all just about technical analysis. It's not. Now there are a lot of people that make money solely on technical analysis, but when you add in the cheat sheets, the fundamentals and the sentiment, and understanding where the big banks are positioned, understanding where the retail traders are positioned, guys, it can be a really strong signal to boost your entries on the charts when it's all in line. It's just as simple as that. So yeah, so nothing on the majors. Now, when will I still trade these even though they're neutral? Yeah, I'll just do it on some smaller time frames where I'm not trying to rely on taking a long signal, like a couple hundred pip goal. I just don't want to do that on a higher time frames. If I get into some strong smaller time frames, supply demand zones, 5, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, yeah, I'll definitely get into some of these trades, but I'll be careful on my risk because it's still not lopsided enough for me. Okay. The only thing that is lopsided are the things that are 5 or higher. In fact, I really prefer even higher than that. If I'm going for bullish, I really prefer the 7s, the 8s or higher, right? But if it's a 5, I'm still going to take a trade. Just maybe just be a little bit more careful on the risk. So yeah, all that to say, major currency pairs, there's not really a whole lot. If we look at the minor currency pairs, okay, again, we've got the Aussie yen at the very top. Now, there's a few others that are 4s that are pretty close, and it's basically the common theme is selling the Japanese yen. Okay, Japan had their rate hike the other day. I believe it was on Thursday, and everybody started selling off the yen. Okay, dollar yen went up. All the yen pairs. So it's just kind of funny and ironic how they indirectly wanted that to help boost the Japanese yen, but in fact it did the opposite. So yeah, common theme is actually again selling the yen, but nevertheless, I still want to have a little more strength in the opposite currency: Aussie yen, New Zealand yen, Euro yen, Pound yen. Okay, Swiss yen a little lower. So yeah, again, it's just too neutral. So Aussie yen is the only one that I want to buy at this moment. Trend, seasonality, commitment of traders report, the crowd sentiment, the CPI, and the unemployment rate. That's all the bullish reasons to buy the Aussie over the yen. And then there's three items, and that's still a little too high for my taste, guys. The PCE, the PPI, the SPMI, that's the services sector of the Purchasing Managers Index. Okay, those are giving me reason not to. And then if you guys see zeros, that just simply means that the expectations were nailed. Okay, or maybe they were missed by a very, very small percentage. Okay, as far as beating expectations or missing expectations. So yeah, that's it. Aussie yen to the long side, and then again, pound Aussie to the short side. Okay, this is the only 2 minor currency pairs I see worth even trading. This week, unless we get anything major come out. But we've already seen the economic calendar, and there's just not that much. So it might be a slow week, guys. It just might. But yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye. Pound Aussie paid me already a couple times a week and a half ago. Okay, this thing was all the way down at one time to a minus 21. This thing was weak. It was screaming sell. Okay, and I was able to make some money off of it. Like I said, once, maybe I think twice on it. So, but even though it was the strongest bearish item I had, it's look, it's gotten a lot stronger because from minus 21 to minus 5, that's a lot of strength. Okay, that the pound has picked up over the Aussie, and part of that is because Australia had a couple week reports come out over the last week. So we'll take a look at those in a minute. And then, yeah, just going back over here to the metals. Okay, there's again your gold, silver, platinum, copper. Those are all given bullish signals. Now, gold is a +8, silver is a +7. This is the territory I personally love to go and buy from. And then if this were the opposite, if these were bearish -7, bearish -8, okay, that's a really nice signal to go short, right? So again, a 5 or a 6 is still a bullish signal, but I'm just going to tell you, I prefer the 7s or higher. Okay. Now, I don't have the luxury of having embarrassment of riches this week. Okay. I don't have, if I turn everything back on, I mean, you guys, it's not a whole ton of stuff to pick from. Again, if I go get rid of my neutrals, which I think I've already done, but I'll do it again. Okay. Again, this is my list. Okay. I've got gold and silver and Bitcoin as what I say is nice, good scores, 7 or higher. So that's really 3 items. So I'm gonna have to go down a little bit into some of these other assets, even though they're not as strong as I like or as weak as I like. So we'll take a look at gold and silver and Bitcoin here in a moment. We'll definitely take a look at Aussie yen. We'll take a look at the pound Aussie for the short side, maybe a couple of these indices, and we'll wrap this video up. Because again, it's really not a whole lot worth talking about. It's going to be slim pickings. Again, it's Christmas week. So let's go take a look at gold. Okay, first. Again, this is the strongest signal I have. Well, what are we in? What are we in right now? Okay, what are we in? We're in a higher time frame supply zone that we've already bounced in the middle of November. We've bounced in at the very beginning of December, and as you can see, we're chewing through it as we speak. Okay, we're chewing through it, but we're not through it yet. Okay, this thing can turn around at any point. Now, I don't feel like it's going to because it's already bounced once, rejected it, bounced twice. Not even really I wouldn't even call that a rejection. But you can see it's the last several weeks, a couple of weeks, it's just been chewing all the way through this daily supply zone. Okay, so I don't feel like the rest of this supply is much of a threat. You guys see I have got a red line up top here. That is was that a 4-hour? I think that's a 4-hour supply. Let's go look. Go zoom in this mud. Yeah, 4-hour supply zone, guys. So that's my confluence. Those are the confluences I like. And what happened? We've already bounced into it. What happened? We got a really nice rejection. Okay, but it did. It's not like it turned it all the way around to go to the downside. It's slowly coming back up again. Okay, the underlying strength is in the price action. So how do we trade this? Well, you guys can see we did have a demand zone already got hit on a smaller time frame. I think this was actually way down on a 5-minute. If I remember right. Yeah, look at this. Okay, it's this light green zone. Look at that. Okay, 5-minute demand. Pretty decent volume underneath. Price left that zone, broke all these highs, and went really deep into that supply zone. So that told me back here that there was some strength. So what happened? Price came down back into that same area, and as you can see, it stopped price in its tracks. And I got into this trade actually and made a tiny bit of money on this. But you guys can see it finally pushed it back up. So that was a nice demand zone bounce. Okay, well I can't use it anymore. In fact, it's already went pretty much 100% through it. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that just to get it out of my way, just so it doesn't tempt me anymore. And now we just got to keep looking underneath, looking lower. Well, the next demand zone's way down here on a 2-hour demand zone. Yeah, right here. Okay, so that's going to be the next point of interest for me. Now that alert that I have set is at 42.85. The proximal line of the demand zone is 42.84, basically. So you guys see I've got a white line down here. If I go down to a smaller time frame, I don't know. It's either I have 1 hour, 30 minute. I've got a confluence of that time frame. It's gonna be looks like 1 hour. Okay. Now we're down to 1 hour, and you guys see this green candle right here. Okay. That's the proximal line of the 1 hour demand zone, which is inside of the two-hour demand zone. In all cases, you've got a big, lovely gap above the proximal line. Okay. There's your gap. Going to we're skipping the exit candle. Okay. The leg out, and then we're going to the bottom of the next one. So that would be right here in white. There's our gap. That gap means strength out of that move underneath it. Okay, it's going to be that candle right here. So I've got an alert ahead of the 2-hour demand, but my plan, if we get price down there, is to buy from the 1-hour demand zone. Okay, that's going to be my plan. I like it. I love it. Now, what I would like to honestly see first, though, before it does that, in all honesty, I would like to see it finish chewing through the rest of this supply zone, and there's not much left. But I already drew it up on this yellow line the other day. Okay, let's have price come on up, close up here, and then return down. If we can get this to happen, I like this trade a lot more, and I would be happy to potentially even limit order that. I don't know. It is a little expensive, I got to admit, but it's chewed through the rest of that supply zone at that point. Okay. Now, if it doesn't do that, if it just comes straight down, I would still look to get in this trade. I just would be a little more careful about my risk. Okay. So yeah, that's trade plan number one right there. It's pretty nice looking 1-hour demand. Again, gold, the dollar hasn't had the greatest reports lately. Let's just go ahead and take a look at that. Hey, look here. Okay, this is our economic surprise meter, or the speed gauge. You guys can see right here, the US dollar. It's only exceeded expectations on 45% of its recent economic releases. So that's half and half. That's not strong. That's not strong nor weak. It's kind of neutral. It's kind of in the middle. But what is strong is the Australia dollar. Look at that. We're still chilling at a 71%. So that one will be the number one currency I still would like to buy. And this is now 3 weeks in. And then what would I prefer to sell if I could? Well, obviously the euro. Look at that. 17%. This thing has missed expectations on everything. It is not good. They did leave their rates changed on Thursday. Not really a whole lot of excitement out of that. But then you get over to the British pound. Okay, that's the second weakest. Well, remember, they actually dropped their interest rate by 25 basis points on Thursday. Okay. And with that, it's already down at 33%. This actually, I might even be more interested in selling the pound than the euro. But you guys, especially because even though the British pound should have went down, okay, just keep in mind, nothing should do anything. The probabilities state the pound should have dropped, but it didn't. So it kind of went up over a handful of currencies. So what does that mean? Well, we get some pound dollars. If we get some pound pairs come up to some supply zones, I'd probably be interested in shorting them, especially on some smaller time frames, since I'm not really getting a strong economic or sentiment reason to do it on a higher time frame. So we'll take a look at that. But yeah, that's my plan for the week, guys. Buy the Aussie dollar and sell the euro, and then sell the pound as well. Because other than that, everything else you see is pretty much in that 40 to 60 range. Not really bearish, not really bullish. It's just too neutral for me. Okay. So yeah, again, this is why gold and silver seems to be giving some better signals to buy, because the dollar's kind of going in reverse. Let's just take a look at those the U.S. heat map. Okay. So in the last week, we've had the retail sales number come out bearish. Okay. We've had a CPI number that came out bearish. We had a neutral reading on the wage growth. Now the unemployment rate came out bearish as well, and then you did have a couple bullish numbers. So the jobless claims number was pretty good. Okay. Wait, is that right? Did I say bullish? Yeah, jobless claims. Yeah, by 1,000. So it's not like it was that big a deal. Okay. Forecast 225, only got 224. So we're talking 1,000 less. That's really not that big a deal. And then the non-farm payroll, which came out nice, and this was kind of the saving grace of the week. Okay. I mean, the previous week was the previous period was just horrible. 105,000 less. They did project 50, but then we beat it by 14,000. So this was our saving grace, the NFP, the non-farm payroll, okay, that came out on the 16th. But other than that, again, guys, look at all these bearish reports that came out. It's just not looking great. You know, it's a good thing the dollar had a little bit higher of a percentage. Otherwise, this thing would be in the dumps and might be the #1 sell. But as it stands, it's still neutral. The stock market's looking pretty good. You know, some of these inflation reports, remember, it kind of has the opposite effect on the stock market. So the PCE was bullish. The CPI was bullish, even though it was bearish for the currency, right? Inflation numbers, again, tend to have the opposite effect. It's good for the stock market, but bearish for the currency. So that's why, no surprise, we got the stock market, okay, the main 4 indices on my bullish list. So probably just going to be a week of stocks for me, in all honesty. Stocks, and then some of these other large caps that I do keep an eye on. So we'll see, and we'll also see if we get that, you know, Santa Claus rally. Okay, we'll see. I mean, we got basically 10 days to go before the end of the year. We've only got 4 days till Christmas, so it's going to be interesting to see if we do get that Santa rally. And yeah, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on those indices. So let's go and look at. So we looked at gold. Okay, we haven't looked at silver. Yeah, silver, nothing's really changed since the last week. I've got a demand zone all the way down here, okay, with a really strong gap coming out. Got that alert at $64.07. Okay, that's where I'm going to be watching this area here. I was thinking about looking at this area here, but it's just like gold has kind of a similar zone. It's too expensive and there's too much chop to the left. Okay. Okay, this is a demand zone, yes, but this is a lot of mess over here. Okay, this is cheaper. This had a much stronger push out, so that's going to be my #1 potential spot to place a buy on silver. If it goes any lower, there's a nice 4-hour daily way down here, but that's quite a ways away. I think that would probably be my #1 mark, is going to be right up in here. Okay, so not much else to say on that. Let's go look at Bitcoin, since it's another risk-on asset. You guys see a lot of squiggly lines here. This is a 4-hour chart, and this sucker's just been getting beat to hell for the last couple months. Okay, this thing's just been going down, but it is turning the corner as far as a bullish signal. So I'm going to have it do a few things here, guys. You guys see I put this white line here at this little swing high. I drew this line over here the other day. If I'm going to buy this market, which is what the edge finder's telling me to do, okay, then it's going to have to go jump through some hoops. At least keep going up and break this high, and preferably even this one down here. And then come down, and I've got a demand zone down here. So let's go drop it down to a 1 hour. Or is it 1 hour? 2 hour? 2 hour. Okay. So 2-hour time frame. There we go, guys. You guys see my demand zone right here. It could have been better volume spread analysis candles coming out of it. It didn't. And it didn't even really break this high. It just kind of came up and went sideways. Now it did finally pop through, as you can see over here. But it's not like it went through with gusto. So that remains to be the best looking zone I have, but I don't really like it that much, to be honest. It should have broken through quicker with more volume, and it didn't. That's the reality of this demand zone. It's just the closest one there is. If I ignore that, then yeah, guys, I'm not even, you know, I'm gonna actually delete this one here, because I am not gonna make that play. I honestly would prefer this thing to come up and break some more highs and show me on a 4-hour time frame a new set of higher highs and higher lows to really get interested in this thing, like hardcore interested. So let's do something like this, right? Get something like that, and then come down and find a demand zone. That would be a little bit safer of a play. I don't see that happening probably this year at all. It's probably going to take till next year, but you know, if we can get something like that in a little bit longer term, then that would make me feel a little more comfortable about buying. But it's hard to buy when all we've had is, you know, lower lows recently, okay, from some of these higher time frames. You don't want to step out in front of a moving train that's dropping, right? or I mean, that's basically a bunker buster bomb coming at you. So yeah, even again, it's bullish signal, but the chart looks like shit. So we're going to probably ignore it. Let's go look at these indices real quick. S&P 500. And just a quick reminder, guys, S&P is a bullish 6, Dow is a bullish 6, and NASDAQ is a bullish 6. So these three are tied for bullish 6s, okay? So this is, again, our 4-hour chart. I do have a demand zone down here. But if we scroll in a little smaller, on some smaller time frames, well, first of all, that is a 4-hour demand zone, okay? That green line, that green rectangle. Now, if I go down to a 1-hour, I do have a 1-hour zone inside of that 4-hour zone, so that's a good confluence. In fact, I don't think I had anything there on a daily. No. So yeah, there's no daily confluence here. Okay? So I can't use that as an odds enhancer, right? So this would basically be the 4 and the 1. Now, it's currently in the supply zone over here. Okay. I would like to see it break through the rest of this supply zone and close up here. I would like to see it do this. Now remember, the markets do not care what I want. They don't care what you want. They're going to do what the market's going to do. But if, and only if, I see price come up a little higher and then close and then retrace, that makes this buy a lot more appealing. Okay? Because I need this zone to show me enough strength to break through an opposing supply zone, which would be there. Okay? I don't know that I could use this area because it's already been touched over here. So let's just go up to a 4-hour. See, this was a 4-hour supply zone at one time, right here. Okay, so let's just mark this up just for a second, and I'll just leave it light red since we know it's already gone. What happened? Well, price came up and went into it. That negates that supply zone. Price got a push down. Okay, now it came back up, formed our new demand zone. So I'm not worried about this zone anymore. This is the freshest one that's the closest. So that's currently where it's at. Now again, if this demand zone shows enough strength to push through that supply zone and close up here, okay, that's where it becomes appealing to use this demand zone as a place to buy. Okay, the 4-hour and the 1-hour confluence. That's again that white dashed line. This would be my entry. Okay, but only if it jumps through some hoops for me. So the jury remains out on S&P 500. I do not want to buy this market if it just comes straight down. Okay, I really don't want to do it. So yeah, that's basically it on S&P. Jump through a hoop for me. Let's go look at NASDAQ. Again, this is another +6. Okay, I've got an alert kind of in the similar spot as I did on the S&P. So if we go down to, so this again is a 4-hour demand. I know I drew that to the 2-hour. I didn't do that. 4-hour demand. Okay, it's going to be that red candle. Now we haven't gotten to the overhead supply zone like we did earlier on the S&P. So 4-hour demand. Let's go down to a 1-hour. Okay. Here we go. 1-hour candle, 1-hour demand zone. I'm going to make sure and color that white and do the dotted instead. Okay. So, and then there's another white dash line on smaller time frames. So I've got an alert set there. A very similar thing, guys. I really need to see price go above this supply zone over here, close before it comes back to the demand zone for a possible buy. So that's going to be my, again, very same thing, NASDAQ and S&P, very same thing. Go look at the Dow to finish up the indices. Okay, this one looks a lot better. I like this one a lot better. Okay, let's start with our 4-hour time frame. First of all, you guys, the indices have been up forever. Now they've had a couple breaks, couple stops, couple hitches, but yeah, as far as the Dow goes, I like this one because the origin of the strong move is down here. That's going to be my favorite demand zone. But up here, I've got one on a smaller time frame, right here. Okay, see that red candle, that big green candle, all that size of those volume candles. Okay, the VSA, the volume spread analysis. That's a really nice look because it broke through these tops, and these tops. It broke through all those tops. I love this area. Now, price did come back down and flirt with that zone, but it did not touch it. Over here, what have I got? I've got a double bottom. What is under a double bottom? Liquidity. Liquidity. There's liquidity chilling right there. Okay, that's sell orders. Think about it. These people right here that bought here and even here, okay, they have to put their stop losses somewhere. Well, I suspect they probably put them down here pretty much in this demand zone. So that's sell orders that buyers, that big banks and whales need to fuel their buy orders. Okay, if they're going to buy and they need sell orders, they have to have sell orders. They have to have liquidity to fuel their buy orders. That's the way it works. When they're trading, when they're putting in, multi-million-dollar positions, they need a lot of liquidity. Don't let anybody tell you any different from that. Okay, they do care about your stop losses, my stop losses, all of our stop losses. So these buyers in here and these buyers here, that's where their liquidity is probably going to be at, somewhere in this vicinity. Okay, right inside of a demand zone with unfilled orders from a zone that broke through all these structures over here and just kept on going. We get a retracement. We get a double bottom. You guys see the green line right there. That's all I need to see. Drop in this zone, and it's a buy all day long, and we'll see where it goes. If this demand zone fails, I've got a much higher probability one right below at the origin of the overall strong move up. So whichever one it takes is fine. If I take a buy on this first one and it stops me out for a loss, it's okay, because I think that I would be able to get in down here and make up for that loss and then continue to profit, make some money nevertheless. Okay, so that's going to be my play on the Dow. Guys, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's a whole lot. Let's take a quick look at those two currency pairs, actually. Aussie yen, pound odd, and then we'll get out of here. Aussie yen, guys. Okay. Demand zone here. So I got a 4-hour demand, kind of half in and half out of this daily demand right here. Okay, if I scroll all the way out, there is my daily zone, my daily demand zone. So if I go back down to my 4-hour, now I've got my alert way up here. Why is that? Well, if I go all the way down to 1 hour, okay, you guys see this 1-hour candle, this big ugly wick, okay? I have to respect it. I have to respect that, so I put an alert on it, just ahead of it. Price comes down here, I might look at this. I might look at this 1-hour demand. Okay, I might take it into context with the 4-hour demand. I might take it all into context of the daily demand. I just don't know yet. It depends on what wicks start looking like if and when they return to this price area. Okay, I've already pretty much drawn it up. That's exactly what I want to see happen. Price, I would like to see it break through this structure over here. This is back to the 4-hour time frame. Come up here and close, and then return. So that's basically the common theme with all these trade ideas. I need to see some more structural break to the top, return to demand, and then it's lift off from there. Okay, potential buys. So that's it on Aussie yen. Last but not least, pound Aussie, which has been my favorite one of late. Just not my favorite price action. I want to short this thing, but I don't have the greatest place to short it. I've got a supply way back here in time. I've got another one here, but it's already been mitigated. It's already been touched. This one already worked out at one time. Okay, I made my money on this zone right here when the price went into that wick right there and came back down, and I went out for a 3-to-1. Okay, that was where I made my money. But since then, the price action has just not been the greatest. I had to respect the fact that we're bouncing into this daily demand zone along with this former resistance point, which is anytime you guys see a blue dashed line and then you see one up here. Okay, if we go all the way back in time, that means it's a former resistance or a support point. Okay, so like there you go. Okay, there's the supply there, and then there's one further back. I'm not going to worry about it. I do want to short this. I just don't have any good supply zones. 4-hour time frame. Okay, the closest thing I've got is here. If I go down to probably a 1 hour. Yeah, I think this is a 1 hour. Let's zoom in. No, it is a 2 hour actually. Let's go to a 2 hour real quick. Right here. So this is about the best I got is this 2-hour supply zone. This 2-hour supply zone did not have the greatest volume coming out of it, so that's a little bit of a negative. Okay, it did bust through this little bottoming area here, but not with any gusto. I mean, it eventually kind of went pretty decent, but I don't know, guys. I don't think I like pound Aussie, to be honest, unless it starts breaking some new lows. Let's maybe look at it breaking this low here. Okay, I'm gonna put a line there. I'm gonna color that blue. Okay, break that low, break this demand zone. Obviously, break this low and finish breaking through this demand, and then I would probably be a little more interested. So if I go all the way to a daily, guys, yeah, let's break through all this crap here and then return to supply. I'm not even interested in pound Aussie. It's not on my fun list anymore. I'm going to ignore it. So I'm going to stick with the indices. Okay. I'll stick with the indices. I'll stick with gold and silver. And as far as currency pairs go, Aussie yen is probably the only one I really care for right now. It's just slim pickings on all the currencies. Okay. Unless I get Aussie yen to do this. Just jump through this hoop for me. Jump up there, close, come back, and then I'll look to buy you, ladies and gents. That's all I've got for the day. I'll be back in the morning for my first live stream on my personal YouTube. Please do come and join me, 6:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock a.m. Again, that is Central Standard Time over here on my trading channel. Okay, once again, go to the live section here. You'll see it. As always, guys and gals, please do check out our actual Hola Prime channel over here. This is where we did have our lives. And again, we'll probably come back to it later in the new year, later on. But we're always adding stuff in here, shorts videos, videos here. Another one that we have is the OG Hola Prime. Okay. We put on some videos typically once a week. Somebody in the company will do that. Just kind of a 30,000 foot view of what's in the news or what's moving markets or whatever. So take a look at that channel. Again, you've got Coach Sammy for his futures there. You've got Coach Adelina for she trades fire. Yeah, just check us out. Okay, we got another channel, Hola Prime Markets. This is the one that was Hola Prime TV. So yeah, just kind of some older archive stuff, but come and check us out. We'd love to have you. With that, ladies and gents, have a wonderful day. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. Peace, love, and chicken grease.